Um,
Okay, let's,
Shirley, Matt,
yeah.
Ryan,
Uh-huh.
I was telling Josh before we got on, I'm on some medication that's just making me want to fall asleep at any time. And I've been sleeping, I think I slept the best last night that I have in a long time. And
Oh,
this,
wow.
I conked out twice today. So I apologize ahead of time when I screw things up. All right, we'll call to order the planning board. See, there's number one. The tree committee for May 12th. Now, is it? Yeah, May 12th,
Okay,
2026.
correct.
Is there any public comment? I don't see any public. I need a motion to approve the minutes of April 14th, 2026. Is there a motion? Pat,
Motion to approve.
motion's been approved. Uh, is there a second? You have to unmute yourself, Shirley.
Second.
Moving second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, aye.
I'm an aye. Good. All right. We don't have a lot on the agenda. We do and we don't. First of all, I just looked at the agenda and just realized I didn't finish spelling the word business, but hey, um, Nicole's not on. The Arbor Day update. Well,
We'll have to wait.
we decided. I'm really out of it. We decided to do our Arbor Day event as a celebration for Bill Malpe, which we did.
Right.
And I think it went well. There were more people there than I expected.
That was nice.
And it was good to see town manager there. And Dennis Gallagher came and gave the the statement from the council, which was really, I think, really important. So I think that went well. And we'll use that for our Arbor Day celebration, which I'll send the some of the pictures that I have to Nicole so she can add it to that. All right.
Ray, if you want to send me those pictures, I could add them to the website too.
Sure. Okay. Um, Josh, regarding the shade tree, I can't even speak. Regarding the shade tree and mitigation, I mentioned to Josh whether we can get moving on it, and he said that I'll let you explain, Josh. You go ahead.
Yep. So the town manager, he has the document in hand. He's going to review everything, and then also during his review, he's going to speak with a counselor for a sponsorship of it. So he'll get everything to you guys for your next meeting.
Josh, you may, I'm not sure if it's important, you may want to mention to him that when we first proposed it, when
Mhm.
Blythe was the temporary town manager, she sent it out to the planning board, get their
Mhm.
input prior to doing anything. And if I'm speaking for them, I know that um, Pat was Pat
Driscoll,
Driscoll. Yep.
what?
Driscoll.
Driscoll, thank you. I gotta go to bed. Pat Driscoll was unsure of implementing it, in particular about measuring trees and so forth. In the end, they voted to give their approval of it. My only point, Josh, is that he may, um, I take it he may want to have other people look at it, in particular the town council, before it even goes to the council. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think what we're trying to do is just get some legs under it.
Yeah,
Um,
that's me too.
so
Yeah.
yeah, so he wants to review it, talk to a counselor on getting them to sponsor it, and then if he feels it needs to go to Jason for a final review, then he can send it over there. But we just want to give you guys some concrete progress by by your next meeting.
That's fine, as long as we're moving it. I didn't mention the shade tree ordinance because we submitted that also. And that the tree mitigation ordinance was our suggestion. The redoing the shade tree ordinance was Michael's suggestion. And we spent a lot of time on it. And I'm not sure, I don't know, that probably should be moved along too, what in terms of that revision. So anyway, as long as we were moving on it, that's good. And whatever happens, we'll see. All right. Where are we? Grants, I take it we're not going, nothing has come up yet. Brian, Cole, nothing, it's too early to deal with grants. Brian, you there? You're speaking, Brian, you're muted. Oh, no. Oh, all right. Tree planting, that's for the fall. We're nothing doing.
How's that?
There you are.
Okay.
You can hear us now, right?
Yeah, so let me just on your note about Somerville and how you
Wait a second for that, Ryan. Hang on one second.
well it goes to tree planting, but that's fine.
All right, go ahead if it goes to tree planting.
Well, this is more along the lines of brainstorming. You said you felt that we needed to have some more activity, and what I thought was that we might take Nicole's very good idea about distributing tree cuttings and do that in the fall. Do that this fall as a school project. So the advantage of it is it's cheap. We can put together a nice little kit for like 6th to 8th grade students. We can distribute something like 200 trees. Really what you're trying to do is get buy-in and involvement in tree planting. In the long run, if you keep that up, it will have more impact than planting individual trees like we just did on the common, even though that's more satisfying because you're distributing potentially 200 trees at a time, and you're educating young citizens and getting them involved hands-on on growing trees and what it takes to put them together. So I wondered, if that might be an idea. I can get more involved on how it might go, but I thought if you wanted to do something to promote the whole organization and tree planting, that would be a cheap and easy way to do it, and may get us some publicity too. I mean, you could promote it with not only distribute it to the school and then write a press release and do all that sort of thing too. It could be pretty good piece of marketing.
I take it the cost be minimal for this.
Yeah, exactly, because you can buy those. It would be a kit, so it would be a box. It might have 200 cuttings in it. Those are fairly cheap, I think, under $100. And then you might need some envelopes, wax envelopes that you can buy on Etsy. Again, under $50. A roll of paper towels to keep the cuttings moist when they're in the envelopes, and then some marketing stuff that talks about how to plant a tree, what the trees are. Like I said, I can get more involved in it, but you can put together a nice little package. It's also not too hands-on. That's easy to assemble. We don't have to have a crew to do it. You can throw it in a box, give it to the teachers like a lesson plan. And if you look at 6th to 8th grade lesson plans in that area, that's the sort of thing they're looking at. Earth science, basic biology. We can wrap all that stuff in there. I was thinking, like, even if you would distribute, we probably want to have a mix of trees, but I was thinking if you were doing something like ginkgo, 6th to 8th grade, ginkgos show up 280 million years ago in the Permian. So if you're driving home, you're burning some ginkgo or ginkgo lineage in your car. And also they were around in the Cretaceous at the extinction of the dinosaurs or the non-bird dinosaurs. So you could sell that whole thing to 6th to 8th grade kids as grow your own dinosaur food. That'd make a nice title. for the project. I think you would want to have a mix of species, but that would be just one example of how you can put it together. Again, I'm brainstorming here, so don't take me all that seriously. But I think it would make a nice little project. It would do the whole tree thing. And then when you put that all together, you put out some press releases to the local newspapers about what's going on. You can compose it as a lesson plan for the teachers so it works with their curriculum. You guys have some teaching experience, and sure you'll all be really good at putting that together. I think that would make a nice project. Just
Shirley?
One thing that I like about it is it would also give us a way to communicate to families about what the rules and regs are for removal of trees. There are still a lot of people out there who don't realize that they have to go in and get permission from the tree warden if they want to cut down a tree that would qualify as a street tree, for instance.
Yeah.
So that's
Anything within 20 feet of the road, they need to at least talk to us, even if the tree belongs to them. We need to have a conversation about it.
The general public does not know that.
that's right.
And then spinning off on that end, I think, we have some money and we've been talking about planting. And I think that probably what I would recommend is that we look at the area from Broad Street. I think it's Common Street, just on the end of the square, down Broad Street that Shirley and Betsy and I walked and look at those trees. If you look at those trees, they're in really sad shape. And what's going on is they get pruned around the wires by the utility company, but we don't have a forestry department. Nobody else is doing anything with those trees. They need some TLC. So I think, one would be to have those stumps cut out, to have the rest of the trees, hire an actual arborist that can go through and prune the rest of the trees and clean them up before we even talk about doing any planting, and then get that brickwork done. And the problem is that if you talk, Paul doesn't have the budget for that. The highway department has absolutely no money. If that's going to get done, maybe it's up to us to at least fund part of it or get it going and look for funding someplace else, rather than just go directly to planting trees. Get the area cleaned up, get it ready, get the tree wells done, get the existing trees that we have pruned properly. We looked at that tree that those contractors had knocked the limb off. That's got a big broken arm on it now, even though they got rid of that limb and everything. The tree, that's a lovely tree, but it looks terrible because it's just been all beat up. And the utility companies aren't going to do that. They're just doing the utility work. And the town highway department doesn't have the facilities to do that. We need a contractor. Paul's been working with Kevin Ferguson, who's a really good arborist from East Bridgewater, and I would highly recommend him. I don't know about the bidding process, but he works for the other than working for the town of Bridgewater, he works for very high-end clients in and around Boston. Does excellent ornamental work. I used to do all his plant healthcare spraying work about 20 years ago, and I know him to be a high quality arborist. He would be a good candidate for getting that work done for us. It has to be somebody who's EHAP certified, otherwise they can't get within 10 feet of the wires because it's too dangerous. But I think that would be a smart way to spend our money. That area looks dismal to me.
Hey,
I don't know
Brian,
how everybody else.
let's step back a second.
Yeah, I know I'm spinning off. I said I was brainstorming.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I think your first suggestion was the 200 trees giving away to the students, and I think that's an excellent idea also. It seems to me that's a no-brainer that we should do something. One, it obviously gives us publicity. It gets us in the schools and doesn't cost very much. So this can be done in the fall, correct, Ryan? I mean, just get everything done in the fall.
Well, we talked to there are all sorts of sources. I can go off on that too. I was thinking that there were the sources that Nicole talked about. We could also spin it off into if you get successful students that are able to plant a tree and keep it alive. in the spring, they could do a report about their success, and then there would be another reward for that. And we could get into, I don't know if you guys know about the restoration of the American chestnut project, but the American chestnuts went extinct almost 100 years ago now due to a fungus that was introduced from Europe. And there's a big a push to try to bring them back. And you can get chestnuts that are viable, and then you would promote that as a project next spring, give them out to the students with instructions about how to sprout them. They could plant them. That could be just to continue on with that. But the reason I was talking about that is it's a matter of what the sources are for buying it. We'll have to see. Nicole had what looked like it looked like she had a good source. I don't know if they're available in the fall as well. There are other commercial sources, but they tend to be more expensive. What she had would be a fairly cheap way of getting it. I think it has some sort of federal subsidy at the origin.
All right,
That was
Can we-
an Arbor Day promotion.
Was it? Okay.
Ernie,
So-
let's have a motion to approve the idea of giving away roughly 200 trees in the fall to students. And the process to get that in place has to be put together, of course, but the idea that we're going to spend money for 200 odd trees that will be given away. I need a motion that we at least start this process. Do we get a motion, either Pat or Shirley?
Yeah,
Okay, Shirley, Pat,
I move that we put aside 200 money for the purchase of 200, I think you'd call them seedlings, that we will use as a educational tool with the students at the, are we talking junior high, senior high?
I
What
would say
age
like
level?
6th to 8th grade, what I think would be the target market.
Okay, so elementary and junior high,
Middle school, yeah.
for the fall, are we talking about the spring or the fall?
Oh,
Well, the fall, but I think it could lead into a spring project too. It could be really the major thrust of what we do for tree planting for right now.
Mm-hmm.
okay. Is there a second? Paul, Pat, did you?
I'll second that.
Okay, motion made and seconded that we will set up money aside to purchase 200 seedling trees for distributing at the junior high, elementary and junior high school in the fall and possibly into the spring.
Well, spring will be a similar project. It might be an add-on. As I said, I was thinking that you could have you could reward successful attempts in the fall with an add-on, which would be the American Chestnut project.
Well, the fact that we have the motion, Brian, we can do either one now. So
I'm sorry.
okay, yeah, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. All right. How do you want to proceed in this, Brian? You want to
Well,
investigate?
we'll go back to Nicole and see what she had for a source, and then I would recommend that we pick a couple of species. Naturally, I saw ginkgo on the list. I would like that myself. But one of the things we want to do is have buy-in. So when you present it to the students, you want them to have something that they make a choice over, because when they make a choice, they own it. That's what we're trying to do. So it has to be not one species, but 2 or more species.
Hmm.
But there was an extensive list there. I can make a choice if you guys don't have a preference. We'll take a look at it.
Yeah, we have a list. All right, so we'll get Nicole in on this in terms, you want to contact Nicole or you want me to contact Nicole, Brian?
Why don't you contact her?
Okay.
I mean, we have plenty. I think we have plenty of time because it's mostly just a matter of ordering that. The rest of the components that we need to do it will come pretty quickly. One of the things that we'll need to do is actually do the writing, because there's some marketing that goes with this. You've got to give them a package with instructions about how to plant it with specific information about the different species of plants you give them. So we got to develop that. We have time because we've got several months, but we have to have people who can do the writing for that. It's not something I can do by myself.
Yeah. Look,
And then-
this, as you just said, we have time. The time goes
Yeah.
by quickly, so we have to put this, start this in motion.
It would be, it would be something that would be done in September, October.
Yeah.
That's when it would have to come together.
All right. I think Nicole will be good at least contacting the Williams School because she has an in there, and she could see how to proceed in that school.
Yeah,
What
that's
it. What grades are the Williams School? What are they? 5, 3, 4, 5? 5? I don't know. Anyway. All
I
right.
don't know.
Okay. I think it's a great idea, Brian. We just have to make sure we do this right.
It was the idea that it was Nicole's idea. My suggestion is just that we push it into this space, do it in the
Right.
fall.
Okay, good. Then I'll contact Nicole. All right, the other thing you brought up, Brian, the Broad Street. I just don't see how we're going to do anything with Broad Street right now in terms of. I mean, it sounds like there's got to be somebody that comes in and gives us a general plan of what needs to be done and how to do it and when and where it's going to be doing it. And
Well,
of course, we need money for that. And
I can tell you right now what it needs. We need somebody to get out and go through and prune all those trees, right down from the square to the railroad tracks.
how
all
much would
those
that cost?
Well, that's the question. I'm so far removed from bidding that kind of work. I can't give you an idea.
Brian,
And
you originally said, Brian, those trees are dying.
That's right.
Well, no, the ash trees are dying, but there's a lot of nice Japanese Sephora there. There's some cherries there. There are a whole bunch of other species there that are nice trees, but look like hell because they have never really been pruned properly. They've got stubs, they've got broken branches, they've got dead wood, and they would be much improved with a good pruning. And like I say, I don't see how else that's going to happen. The highway department doesn't have the money for it, nor the ability to do it themselves.
Wait a minute.
Did we put out to
wait,
bid
wait.
to some of our local tree
Arborist.
removal people?
Well, that was what I mentioned. I'm not sure. Josh could tell us more about what the legal requirements are. I'm sure there's a budget thing. So over certain amounts, you have to have 3 bidders, unless you can identify somebody who's specifically pretty good at it. I'm very strong advocate for the guy that Paul
Ferguson,
Costner
right.
has been using, which is Ferguson.
Let's step back a second. One, what you're saying is, Brian, that there are some trees on Broad Street that can be saved, but they need pruning. Now,
Exactly.
we have no idea, at least I have no idea about what the cost is. This committee has $18,000 or something in the kitty. And supposedly, I don't know, Josh, whether you remember this, that Michael Dutton had money set aside for trees in the common area, that there may be some money in the kitty for that. And maybe if it's not overly, we don't want to, kill our entire budget, but maybe we can spend money from our own budget to do some of the trees.
Yeah, get the trees pruned and get those 3 stumps there.
We need to know roughly what it's going to cost, though, Brian.
Yeah, we need to get some quotes. Yeah, obviously. Then we can figure out exactly what we can do. But then we should move forward to try to get those stumps ground out and the trees from the square down to the railroad tracks, the trees that are going to remain pruned. There are probably 5 or 6 ash trees there that are going to have to be removed. I'm not sure that's in the scope of what we're doing right now. And when I was by looking at them, they're greener than I thought, so they may actually make it through another season.
Brian, why don't you talk to Paul?
I will.
See what he thinks, and if he knows of a company that come in and give us an estimate, and 2, whether he has money in the budget for trees. that,
I know for a fact he doesn't. I have another tree issue with him that is a hazard issue, and they don't have the money for it, and that's a hazard issue that needs to be addressed. This is more ornamental that we're talking about. If it's going to be funded, it has to come from someplace else. That's why I'm saying we should do it.
all right. Shirley, Pat, I mean, what do you two think about spending a good part of our budget on this, or should
Yeah,
we?
it could be half of what you have for money easily.
Yeah, what do you think?
Well, I think because it's beneficial, we should do that. But I'm also wondering if we know anything about the money that our state rep said that has been dedicated to the common. I don't know what that means. He's
Oh,
got a,
that's new.
he has,
That's new.
he has a grant for that. And I don't know if any of those funds can be used for other trees or if it's even for trees. I don't know what the grant means.
I don't remember that. Do you remember what he said, Pat?
He said that he has received a grant for our common, and I don't know what purpose it's for. And
Yeah.
there's one is $25,000 and another one is $50,000. So if we could find out what that's dedicated for, maybe we can use some of the funds for trees. I mean, if it was for trees on the common, I just don't know. Does anyone know?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. I'll have to try to clarify it with him.
All right, well, let's do this then. Let's since we have a lot of questions up in the air.
Well, let me talk to Paul and
Yeah,
see about.
I think that Brian, the main thing is getting Paul's input in this and
Yeah.
how
We'll get
things
some
should be done.
get some quote on the pruning work that I recommended, and then separately a quote on those stumps, and see if that's something that we can handle, just to get it moving.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's good.
Because it's an eyesore.
No, I'm glad you brought it up. I mean, we need, I just
True.
feel
Yeah.
we've been around for 4 years. We've done some things we haven't done enough. I just think we should be doing more.
Well, I think you need to spend the money. The more you spend, the more likely you are to get some more, especially if we get good results.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. That's good. So you'll check with Paul.
Yeah, I'll get that
I'll
ball
provide
rolling and
approval.
hopefully have some more to say on that next time. By the time we next meet.
Okay, that's good.
Shall we think of doing the two projects simultaneously? The one for the elementary school children with the seedlings and the one for the Broad Street tree pruning and removal.
Sure.
Yes.
They don't necessarily clash with each other.
Yeah,
Cost,
the
the
school
cost
thing
for
is
the seedlings will not be much at all.
Yeah, that whole project will be nominal. It might run us $500 or $600 by the time we're done with everything.
Yeah, that's fine.
So Ray, are you going to contact Nicole to see where the grant money is coming from?
I will contact Nicole. Yeah.
Okay. And you need to get a hold of also Gallagher to find out what his
I'll email him.
It might be just for sidewalks or something. I honestly don't know.
I don't know what's her name? Mary McGrath had a common committee made up. They met 2 times, I think, 2 or 3 times, and it hasn't met.
The revitalization, yeah.
Unless she just didn't want to invite me again.
Oh.
But anyway, all right. This is good. This is good. All right. Anybody else? I want to bring up one other thing. We okay on what we just talked about? All right. My frustration with the tree committee, as I indicated before, is that we haven't done as much as we possibly could do. And you look at some of these other tree committees that have been active for years. I mean, they're obviously doing a lot more than we are. It would be nice, I'm not sure what it would take, Josh, I don't know if you would have any input, to have a website with tree committee making recommendations on certain things and how to plant and so forth, as some tree committees do have. Is that would be a big deal, wouldn't it, Brian or Brian? Not
Yeah,
Brian.
I
Josh?
mean, you're
No,
comparing it to,
Excuse me, I'm talking Josh. I meant Josh.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely something we could do. And one thing that we could do is kind of do like a crossover for like our Parks and Rec open space that, click here for more information on trees and stuff like that. All I would ask is that somebody be kind of nominated as the person to come in and look at the website with me on how you guys want it designed and how you guys want things filtered. That'd be the only request I'd have.
Who would actually do it?
You mean set
I
up,
can
What?
I can do it, and if we run into any technical problems, then I can get IT in on it.
Okay, that the town manager can just approve something like that. That's not a big deal, eh?
No, that's I have the capability to edit the all of our boards, commissions, and committees, so I can. That's something you can just recommend to me, and I'll run it by him. But he should have no issues with that.
What do you think? I think it's a no-brainer, to tell you the truth. We could put a lot of stuff on there that could look at. In particular, Shirley, you bring up the idea of street trees. I mean, that could be right on the website and what a
Mhm.
street tree is and what is not. Although, I'm definitely not a techie and I know nothing. But I'll be willing to help. This may be a full committee. I can't speak today. I'm just out of it. I'm sorry. Uh,
Yeah, we could even post it as a scheduled meeting. It would just have to be in person because I'd have to go over it with you guys. But it wouldn't be. We'd post it as a meeting, but it wouldn't be anything that was like following an agenda. It would just be something that we'd be meeting to discuss the website design. So anybody could
that
show
sounds
up
great
and
with me. What do you think? Have a in-person meeting to come up with the website. Shirley, Pat,
I think, yeah,
fine with me.
let's do it. We need a motion then to have Josh set up a meeting so the tree committee can meet with one purpose, and that is to talk about setting up a website on trees. Can I get a motion on that?
so moved.
Motion's made. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion made and second. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Josh, set up a meeting. Okay.
okay. Well, while I have you guys here, is there a preferred time? I mean, I'm in the office Monday through Wednesday, 8 to 4. Is there a preferred time that you guys would like to meet? Afternoon, morning?
Um,
I would like to make it the sort of the last half of the morning, somewhere after 10 o'clock, between 10 and 12.
Fine with me.
Fine with me.
Okay. So what I'll do is
Yeah.
I'll just check my calendar for the next couple weeks, and then I'll send out an email with the date as well as a calendar invite.
Okay,
Good.
that's great. Good.
Thank
That's-
you, Josh.
That
You're
was
welcome.
simple and well, that's huge. The other thing I was thinking, I looked at other town websites, tree committees, and they seem to have a lot more people on it than we do.
Mm.
I'm wondering whether, we're working off of Michael Dutton's setup for a tree committee, which I think is fine. Just I'm wondering whether we could use more people on this committee, especially, people from the public that have some interest but just haven't gotten involved. What do you think?
I agree.
Do we need to, obviously that's a major change, Josh, to change the makeup. It would be town manager going to the committee, right? To do it.
Yes. The only issue I just want to bring up is the more members you have, the more that you'll need for a quorum. Um, so like today, we needed 3 people. If you get one more, then if you get one more to make it 6 voting members, you need 4 people at that point.
Right.
So it does make it a little bit harder to meet. Some of my larger committees do have that issue. Um, if you feel that, maybe we could do like an alternate membership, kind of like what the planning board and ZBA has. Um, that way they don't it wouldn't necessarily affect quorum then. My only concern would be with quorum. Um, but yeah, we could go through the process. It'd have to go through the town council for a change though.
Yeah. Well, think about it. We don't have to decide that now, but I'm just saying, it seems to me that I understand what you're saying, Josh. At the same time, I think it would be good to get some new people on too, just to get some input, more from the public that may want to get involved. I mean, again, all of us came on
You need
board
to,
because we knew each other and we were around Michael at the time. I don't know.
you need,
Well, why don't
you
we
need,
why don't we think about that and decide the next meeting what you want to
you
do?
need a broader demographic. You've got to get into younger generations, the people like Nicole and younger. There's got to be
No question about it.
there's got to be a secession. We're all 70 years old or older. That can't go on endlessly. You want more people like Nicole. There's more energy. There's a different perspective.
I totally
So,
agree. And if they
but
want to stage a coup, that's all right with me too.
not me. I'm looking at retiring, but the thing is that I think one of the things is we probably recruit more people with an interest if we promote what we're doing. So if we're going to do that, if we're going to do the planting the seedling thing in the fall, we should try to do some news releases or some promotion of that event and use that as a recruitment tool. Same thing if we're pruning along Broad Street. If we get to that, we do some press releases with a recruitment appeal on it, and just keep that up. Every time we do something, you're recruiting at the same time.
Your point about younger is also important in that if we do have a website, you need somebody to take care of it, and somebody that is under the age of 65 might be more adept at changing things and adding things to the website than somebody like us, which I would have no idea what I'm doing. But I think we need younger people, no question about it.
I've actually developed a couple of websites. I'm not technical myself, but I know the marketing end of it.
All right. All right, let's what do you think? That Shirley? Go in that direction? Yeah.
I tend to think that if we could add another 2 or 3 people to the committee, get to that 6 number that Josh mentioned, we should be able to recruit some people who still have kids in school.
Josh, maybe you could talk to Justin and see what he thinks about doing that, and then maybe let us know at the next meeting about the process.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say if you guys could gauge, what you think because like I said, what we want it when we don't want to widen the scope of the or the membership if we don't have interest yet. We don't want to put the cart before the horse on that. Because if we could get some, because people can join your guys' meetings and contribute in their own way, just because they don't need to be a voting member to contribute. So maybe if we could get draw some interest that way, where the people who are participating and coming and speaking during public comment and things like that, that'd be a good start. And in that way we have something concrete to give to Justin to show to explain to the council that we need that to increase the membership level. Does that
Yeah,
make
I
any
do
sense?
think one of the things that works against us is the fact that we're a Zoom meeting, because nobody knows what we are and what we're doing and what we're discussing. It's just our own little group. So I think we need to do some promotion, and Brian made a good suggestion when he said we should tack on some promotional activity on each of these times that we have something, like the program with the seedlings or the pruning of the trees on Broad Street. Let people know that we're here and doing things, So they might become interested in joining us.
Josh, how many committees meet online like us?
Sorry?
How many committees actually are we the only one that meets online?
No, most of the committees do meet online still.
Oh,
And I will say this, that if you are trying to delve into the 30, 40 olds, you're going to probably net more with virtual or hybrid meetings. Just because, and you'd have to switch from 2 o'clock meetings to later, most likely.
Right.
can we do a
That the
hybrid
mo-
meeting if we wanted to?
Yeah, so the only request we have is that if you do a hybrid meeting, you have a quorum of members present. Um, if you do it during the day, so we only have two real Zoom rooms available. It's that 201A, which you guys have met in before, on the second floor there, and then town council chambers, which is kind of equipped for Zoom. 201A gets booked a lot during the day, so that would be the only obstacle you'd face.
I noticed the planning board does it. I think are they the only?
They meet in the town council chambers, yeah.
Right. I spoke there
Yeah.
once a few months ago, and they would have it was hybrid, I believe. What-
I think they're fully in person, but they record.
Oh, okay.
They might have had a hybrid or had a presenter that joined in. But I think they are some form of hybrid, at least with letting presenters come in and virtually. Um, but yeah, they do it in the town council chambers.
I prefer in-person meetings. I always have. But obviously we have to drive at night in the winter, getting old. But the main reason is Nicole. I mean, we're having this time schedule because of Nicole, and she's
Mhm.
obviously very busy. I know she's off open space now, and she's hinted about even us. I totally can't, but I don't know. It's just it's a problem I think that the town has for all committees, getting enough people to volunteer and good people to volunteer to do things. Let's think about this though, okay? Maybe at the next meeting we can talk about whether we want to increase the membership and we want to change the time. Just let's think. I'll put an email out, okay?
Yeah, I think and just to add to it, just having flexibility with your guys' schedule and how you would like to meet is the most important part of getting volunteers. Um, so I think that'd be a key thing that I'd say if you guys are going to start advertising or trying to drum up support is just being flexible in that regard is the best way to get younger people.
Well, what you're basically saying is it's better to have it later than this time.
Um, I would say, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think Nicole is able to join. She probably has a little bit of a better setup with her work where she can join from her office. But the majority of the committees meet after 6.
Yeah. All right. Something to think about, folks. Okay, anybody else? All right. Um, very good. I mean, we went over a number of things. I think they're all important. And I'll try to send out a summary and you can correct me, which you probably have to because I'm still not sure what I'm doing. And we'll go from there. I really hope we can move this committee along to be more active. I just think we're just not doing enough. We have a beginning though. Okay. Anybody else? Then I'll take a motion to close the meeting.
Hmm.
You, Pat, you want something? You say something?
You were going to talk about Somerville?
Oh, well, that sort of came up with the new
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
You know, they have a website and I just happened to look at it and they seem to be doing a lot more. They were, for instance, they were planting tree. In other words, getting people to pay for a tree and planting it in the person's name.
Adopt a tree.
Not the
Yeah.
tree.
Right.
That was kind of nice, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, all sorts of things that we could think if we just knew about what other community, what other towns are doing, that maybe we can adopt a tree. I take it what you do is they pay for the tree and they put you in somebody's name on it. Hey, why not?
I think the town gets the tree and then the person adopts it and waters it.
Okay.
But
That could
but-
be.
I could be wrong.
We could eat, I don't know if it's permissible, Josh, to even ask people for donations to plant a certain number of trees someplace, to have people donate their own money to plant trees along Broad Street. I don't know, just
Let me ask you, that's a great question. Let me ask Justin about that.
Yeah,
I think
okay.
that would be something we'd have to work in tandem with Paul. Because I think he does most of the ordering for the trees, correct? Is that who Brian had been working with?
Ryan, yeah.
Yeah. So I just have to ask him. But yeah, let me see if what he says on donations.
Okay, good.
All right.
Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion made, is there a second?
I'll second that.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you, Ray.
I'm gonna
Nice
go.
to see you all.